change YouTube? You have to like start streaming and then also go live. Okay.
Change YouTube for that.
Where's my OBS? There it is. All right, I need someone to start streaming. I can actually line up the.
Don't you worry about that.
Good man, good man.
Let me what did it just
You wouldn't believe this is like the third or fourth time we've done one of these.
Yeah, every time I change slightly the. I need to change my T-shirt. I need to wear my branded.
Your hits.
Logo. Let
Yeah,
me
yeah.
change my corporate logo. Actually, this is quite cool though. This is the source code for the Matrix. So.
How is it? Why is it not in green? It's outrageous.
I should have ran this earlier.
I feel so bad. I've waited all day for this stream. It proceeds to just burn on a rifle.
Oh, there's just 22 people.
What's up, gang? Welcome to the stream. When we get it working, we will be playtesting STORROR Parkour Pro version 0.11. Well, the backers are mostly playing it. We're playing a little bit.
I've got an echo. Oh no, I don't. It's just I've got the video audio from the stream on as well. I'm just stupid. Let's do it. Show you guys how to play this game properly. Where am I?
If I make that
we got to start off by doing the
no, that's if I do, that's way better. Oh, it's a way better way of doing it.
Let me know when I can start playing this very cool game.
You're just playing it out of the editor.
Yeah. Oh, I should actually go full screen now, shouldn't I?
Yeah, you're good to go, enough.
So technically, I am the best STORROR Parkour player in the world. Just
Okay, I'm gonna stream like this.
Anyone that asks when the game's ready, it's ready when it's ready. Yeah, where am I going? So, thank you, Toxic. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Guchkowik. Hey, what's up, Moritaka? What's up, Loco? I need a way to. How did I do this before? Oh, I think I just every now and then I'll just click out and have a look. Yeah, okay. Where should the chat box go?
Is David play from the editor?
Yeah, he is.
no, I would never do that.
No, never, never.
I just realized my controller isn't.
I promise, guys, we're professionals. Actually, we don't get paid for this. We're not professionals. We're all amateurs. Hey, what's up, Noma? What's up, David? What's up, Conjure? Is anyone actually playing the game? Jackstar, please, can you give us some gameplay? Yes, my man, savior. Any plans for a console demo anytime soon? No, the console demo will come out late in the production because it's so much effort to port it over every time that when we just want to get fast iterations out, it won't be happening early. Unfortunately. Yeah, because Jackstar's just standing there, so there you go. You're live, David. You're live to the world. Your debug text is showing.
Move the camera down. Remember,
do you actually play the game with the camera low? Hey, what's up, Eagles?
Are your feet?
But you can't see where you're going.
Cinematic runs.
Like Martin McFly once said,
where we're going, we don't need road.
We don't care where we're going. Oh, there are no roads where we're going. What?
There are no. No, isn't it? It's Doc Brown.
Roads where we're going.
Isn't that Doc Brown that says that? Not mine.
Yeah, I mean,
Because then the car goes up and it flies off, and it's because the yeah. I need to weigh out options of buying a PC.
I
Fair.
think they we don't need road where we're going or something like that.
We don't need roads where we're going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Johnny.
That was 2015 and it still didn't happen, right? So.
Yeah, but we got the lace up, the automatic lace up shoes now.
Yeah, the shoes, yeah.
David, come on, you're letting us down. The devs are supposed to be the best ones at this game.
Is it
I've
David?
not played this game in like
Look
two.
at that.
Oh,
That is too quiet.
I've not played the game in like a day.
Go to.
I don't know. I'm trying to sleep. Here you go.
Wait.
This is about to get taken.
There you go.
Cool.
Let's turn that up then.
In the stream.
Any problems with the audio or anything? Let me know and I'll adjust it. Any questions about the game? Hit us up. That's what we're here for.
Where's my bus? Where did my bus? Where's the last?
Oh, okay.
there's no game audio, apparently.
That's because there's no audio coming through the stream. That's David's fault, not mine.
No game audio, apparently.
What do you want me to turn on my game?
Oh, yeah. We need the game audio, actually.
Yeah, otherwise it's just dead silence and then us chatting.
That is the main feature of 011. So we need
Oh my god, Murataka, those corner billboards that look 3D, they're amazing. They blow my mind every time. I know the trick and it still blows my mind. Is keyboard support fixed?
Yes.
Have you finished fixing it?
I got you. Yes, it's fixed as
Okay.
we speak.
It's fixed. The hotfix hasn't come out yet. The patch hasn't been released, but apparently the code's been fixed.
Fixed. It's fixed. Like the producer in me says, yes, it's fixed.
It's still going.
The audio is still not coming through, David.
That is your audio menu.
I mean, are you capturing your screen or are you capturing the program?
I'm just capturing my screen.
Yeah, that won't get audio. You got to capture the program.
Oh, you
So, it's not me. There's a menu now. Saka, you've been missing for a minute. We've had a menu for ages. We had a good menu, then we had a bad menu, then we had an amazing menu that I made that got scrapped, and now Dad has done another okay menu. Will there be an online multiplayer? Yes, there will be a ton of multiplayer. The game will be focused around multiplayer. There we go. We've got audio now.
Where's the menu now? Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yes, I can.
I can't.
It doesn't matter if you can hear it or not. Everyone else can. Is it just you playing at the moment as well? Yeah, it's just you. But yeah, when it on final release, or as soon as we can get it working, multiplayer will be a massive aspect of this game. The whole social aspect of it, the parkour community vibes.
Oh, I like this move actually. Is it you, Dave, playing?
Of course. If the gameplay looks good, 90% of the time it's me.
Yeah, the professional.
Bring this down to like a little bit like that. Every time.
Where's my lovely?
Yes, I think for 012 or whatever next version we're gonna release, I'd like to complete a lot more of the audio for the character, Brandon. Like like we say, the more of the landing audio and character. Like we say, yeah, more of the character. I think that.
Yeah.
When realistically can we expect PS5 release? Console demos will come out late into production. Probably approaching final release. To be fair.
Console demos come
Why
out
am I
late.
hearing myself?
Approaching.
Noma, I'm muting you. Escape scenarios, yeah. There'll be all sorts of like different game modes. Basically, every parkour game you've seen STORROR play, they do add-on, they do tag, they do escape scenarios, things like that. That'll all be in, plus more that we can think of. We'll just pretend David didn't break the game. Yeah, we want to try and get as many like different game modes and stuff as possible. I need to move those lights because I changed the roof. The lights are just floating in the air. Oops. What happened to the hands? The fingers don't grip anything at the moment. We had like an okay-ish fix for them, but I think we've actually got gloves now, so we'll re-record some of the mocap with actual hand animations. Fair point, Moritaka. Yeah, there'll still be a console version. It's just releases for it will come quite late in the process. You can still stream, Noma, that's fine. I've just muted your mic, so we just won't be able to hear your microphone, but we'll be able to hear your stream still. Is it going to be open world or different maps, and if maps, how big would they be? Dado? You want to say that?
Yeah, open world is a bit. I think loosely or fakely open world. I think we could say that. I'm not really
semi-open.
Yeah, open world always scares me because of the sheer scale of it. But for sure, it's not gonna be like small closed levels. I would really see this like if you look at the map now, like David, if you zoom out of this, if you do the drone shot, and I would say that could be a sort of an island, and then we go bridges that connects multiple of these islands, and let's say like 10 or 20 of those. So that would be basically sort of like what the open world would look like. It would be like, let's say like 4 kilometers of each of these single maps. Each one connected by whoever, like a tunnel, a bridge, or any structure. And I think that I think I would feel like confident with that. What I don't feel confident is having one of those classic, landscape that they got like infinite size and you can basically roam around forever. Mainly because it's very hard to put content in such a vast amount of space. It would just be a walking simulator at that point.
This drone shot's quite cool.
Oh, Dave, you are live to the stream.
Right? Like, should we have a challenge which is play with the further camera possible and make it sensible?
We really need to start getting the event things going in there, like set up like speed comps and style comps and stuff for like a weekend sort of thing.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Get up in here. I'm missing all the cool stuff. Let's do this.
Oh, I'm watching Dave Face Station at the moment. I was going to watch Noma, but there wasn't any audio, so I'm wondering if because I've muted him, it does actually kill the stream audio, which is... No, it shouldn't be. Wait.
Hey, the menus are looking good, see?
Noma, do you have any game audio?
The menu.
Because we're not hearing your game audio.
Last comment. It's in Noma.
Hey, what's up, Nosferatu? I haven't seen you in a minute. To be fair, I haven't been streaming for a while. Life's been, life. What can I say? I'm a slacker and I'm still irreplaceable. Would you be able to move such as flips and corks? I think so. They certainly will talk about it to begin with, and I imagine that idea is still there. We haven't started to approach the system for how we'd control it. But yeah, I'd imagine there'll be some sort of system for flips, corks, things like that. Instead of character getting into full ragdoll mode, why not more of an alive type of ragdoll like GTA Euphoria? That's all Dado. He's the one that likes murdering Josh over and over.
Yeah, to be honest, I think like there is a bit of a confusion about Um, so what you call like active ragdoll or alive, it doesn't really. Yeah, it's just it's it's just a marketing name for basically exactly the same tech. And
God, this is bad.
The type of ragdolls that they got in GTA, it was made by a company that uh, well, all of the technology now is a little bit discontinued. It's just like they didn't went bust, but they just stopped doing that, and I think they merged with Freelaterals, which are the same people that are doing the meta humans. So there is like their active ragdoll thing is not it doesn't exist anymore. It just was like stopped that uh that bit of research, and I think is gonna be superseded by some um I think there will be a lot more AI based ragdoll system. Like you just capture a lot of moves, and then you will basically you will basically do the ragdoll with AI rather than physics. That is my bet, but have a look into the ragdoll too much. Um, I think yeah, they're not a super primary part of the game. Yeah.
Ragdoll's an interesting one though, because it's like
If I get a haircut, no, my hair's long, dude.
it's like it's a heavy bail. Or I don't know what were we calling it. It's like soft bails and hard bails, right? Like you kind of want like
Oh, whereas like
I guess
clipping a foot
50
as opposed to completely eating it.
yeah. So
Yeah.
a soft bail is an animation probably, and it's like contextual, right? And a hard bail like so basically a soft bail means you can still like continue, and a hard bail means you stop. So a ragdoll at the moment, all the bails are hard bails at the moment. So every bail you do, you're at, like there you see he just absolutely splats and then he's out of the game. But you actually want to keep the player playing for as long as possible. Like you like to keep you in your line or doing a move, like because every time you're not playing, it's all you spend time. That's why we sped up the get up. It's because like it's just you spend time just like on the floor flat out. It looks cool for like the first couple times, and then after a while, it just fades out, and you just want to get them back playing. So I think we're gonna start to introduce more of those soft bails in terms of like you pull it off, but something's not right, or it bails, but in a way that's a bit less like just like splat, so that when you actually do have the ragdolls or the hard bails, they're a lot more impactful. Because everything ragdolls now, the ragdoll loses effects pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But like if you ragdoll once every I don't know, like there he just like did a front flip over and it absolutely crushed it. But if that happened every so often, I think it'd be a lot more enjoyable to see.
Yeah, but then just be better at the game. Just don't bail as often.
Just be better.
Also, Noma, you're live. You're live to the world, Noma. Give us some good. It's immediately clips into a wall. Are there going to be NPCs in the game? Yes.
Quit the Noma.
Well, because so much of the game's going to be
NPCs
set.
actually, we need to have them, and actually quite a lot, because we had one of the first tiers in
Was to have backers as the NPCs.
yeah, in the first Kickstarter, which like you in the game, and in fact, we did a lot of them. I think we did about 50 of them. So just need to find a way to put it in the game, really.
I might as well. I'll talk to you about it afterwards, but I might as well start looking into that because of the side job when I was going to start looking. So I might as well start looking into the crowd sims and stuff anyway for our game.
Yeah,
But I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you about that afterwards.
Some complex AI, I guess NPCs would be like, well, we look at like security guards and other parkour people. Like,
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, even just populating the world, just like general pedestrians and that, because it's all set in an urban environment, so it's all got to be.
Oh, sick!
I'm gonna be able to jump into hay bales, not as a mechanic. I might slip one or two in just as an Easter egg, but not as a mechanic. Is Gary still planned? Gary being. If you mean the fat security guard, that was Dave?
No, that is Dave. I think he meant
Yeah.
Gary, the guy from Liverpool.
Ah, Gaza the Scouser.
Yeah. Gary.
Say.
Yeah, now that David is the king of AI, uh, for reasons that we are not gonna go into right now.
But it's why his hair is a bit patchy, where he's been ripping bits out.
No,
I think AI will be an interesting topic a little bit down the line. We still got a lot of work to do
yeah.
generally everywhere else, but yeah, the thing that most that look most forward about AI is to do the chase. Oh, that is a good sequence. Who is playing there? Is that Noma?
No, we are watching Dave Face Station at the moment.
Oh, nice one. Yeah, that was a nice sequence.
Will there be exploration-based levels at all? It's just more about climbing and finding ways up different zones. I think every level's probably going to try and have a little bit of everything in it. I'm definitely pushing for there to be some urbex stuff with like exploration and finding secret hidden spots and that. Kind of like the old Tony Hawk stuff, where if you get up onto the roof and drop through like a window or something, there's like a whole secret area. I definitely want some
It's got to
urbex
be
stuff.
though, innit? That's got
Yeah,
to be like, because I guess like I
That's so
always
much
think,
what
like,
STORROR does anyway.
yeah, because I always think like sometimes like if you think of this game as a purely parkour game, right? Like it like appeals to like a certain amount of people. But I always think like there's a reason why STORROR is. I've said it a million times. Like, the reason why STORROR is popular isn't because of just the parkour. It's like everything in which how they like use parkour and like their version of parkour and what it means, right? It's more than just like the flips and tricks, or it's more than just the technical side. Even more than just like the creativity.
They use
kind of
into
thing.
the world there. So.
I know. I've made a note of that. I just saw it.
I think when you're playing, you just kind of want to like. I think the first thing that you should be able to do is like before you do any moves, like before you vaults, jumps, pliers, sticks, before any of that, it's like, can you just explore? Like at a base
Yeah.
level, can you just explore an environment that's interesting? Because that, like, you look at any game like Spider-Man, like any game, at the end of the day, it's like, what do people spend 90% of the time doing? It's just exploring the environment, and that's the thing that people, like, a lot of people play games, right? It's just like to chill out, zone out, and just explore a bit. So like at its core, it needs to have that, and then we implement the parkour as a means of exploration. And be like, okay, how can you now be creative in an environment? How can you use the environment to do all these different stuff? That's how like parkour, like, then we really then, like, unlike the other game, we expand on all the different parkour mechanics and give you more control, so you can fully explore the environment the way you want. But at the end of the day, it's still like exploring the environment, getting to like climb around, jump around in just like a relaxing way. Like,
Yeah.
that is like the fundamental base of the game. Like,
Yeah, it's kind of like you're gonna allow people to express themselves in whatever way they want. If they want to explore a lot and climb and find stuff, that's cool. They get to do that. If they want to focus on tricking and doing cool stuff like that, they get to do that. Yeah, it's kind of
100%.
Yeah.
it's exactly the
Play it your
same, I
way
guess,
kind of
as
thing, yeah.
parkour in that way.
Yeah, there's like so many different facets in it. It's like, you got to be able to play it just your own way, right? Like, just find how you enjoy it. And I guess our job is just to give you the freedom and the ability to do all those different things, really.
Yeah,
And if we
just
could
get
do that,
lost in the
then
world.
we just get lost in it.
Yeah.
And eventually you'll like tap into all of those. You'll love the exploration side for one, and you'll love the like doing flips and tricks, and then you'll love just like finding creative ways to maneuver, navigate an environment, and then you like the competitive side and racing friends and stuff like that. So it all just builds on top of each other. And then at the end of the day, you're like, which is at the end of the day, like, that's what STORROR is as the channel and the group of guys. If you can encapsulate that into the game, I think that's what will make it a good game. That people keep coming, like 10 years from now, are people still gonna want to play, you know?
Fair point. Some other questions. Would it be wait, what do I suggest in those War Islands feature in the latest videos? Do you know what? It's funny you say it, Nosferatu 2. I was messing around with modeling the grain tower from the most recent. No, not the most recent. The one before STORROR video. But currently our indoor stuff doesn't play super well, so I scrapped it. It was interesting to run around in. Would that be cool slow motion? Sorry, was that?
No, I was that the question you're about to ask. I was about to respond to it.
Oh no, take it then. Run with it.
No, yeah, the cool slow motion scene stuff. So we've been. Was last night? Was it Dado? We were talking about the camera stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
So yeah, we were like, yeah, it
Everyone
was like,
talking about the
yeah,
camera.
basically. I speak to Dado too much. I speak to all you guys too much. It's actually ridiculous. It's actually I think I see Dado. I speak Dado more than I speak to my girlfriend. Guns is near in there as well, which is ridiculous. Yeah, no. So we were talking like camera and kind of like so we're making some trying out some stuff. Again, I say like the beauty of like not being tied into anything is that we can change stuff and change our mind, try different things and without fear of like deadlines and all that stuff, you know. But we were basically I've changed it back so it's a follow cam. So the camera follows you to free up some control stuff. But we're looking at making it more dynamic so that although it follows you, it sort of reacts to the world and what you're doing. So one of the things I've been doing today is like if you're falling, it kind of like brings you up and adjusts like field of view and stuff like that. And I think that kind of ties into it. I think being able to recognize spots like that and like without you having to do it, it can sort of like maybe not all the time, but the first time you hit that spot or something, you be able to recognize that you're doing something pretty cool here and dynamically react to that. I think it'd be a really cool camera trick. I think that they do it in like Assassin's Creed. Every time you do a leap of faith, you just go, whoop, you hear the hawk sound and whatever. And it's what makes the leap of faith so damn like so sick. So I think if we can do it in a way that's not too often and it's not too like it's not too in your face where you don't feel like you have control, but enough where it is dynamic and it is like for those big moments, like you said, that Hong Kong roof gap and stuff like that. I think that is going to make the camera system way more like just a bit storytelling. Like we were watching that Last of Us gameplay and they do it really well. Like obviously it's a bit more narrative driven, that game, so you can sort of script it a bit better. But yeah, they do it when it sees like when someone jumps on them, the camera cuts low to the gun, and they're shooting up at it, and that stuff like that just makes you feel so immersed in the whole whatever's happening and what's going on. So if we can find ways to do that too, I think it'd be sick.
Who is playing now? Is that no?
It's still Dave PlayStation. I keep switching back to Noma's, but the stream quality is not great, so I'll try not to stay on it too long. It's really pixelated.
Yeah,
The running jump is so terrible.
I quite like watching other people playing. I'm very happy by the fact that the game now looks very good. When you see other people playing, the game looks good, which I mean, animation wise,
Yeah.
I'm really happy. Like there are like the occasional moments in which, of course, like you go to I don't know those things, but for the most part, I say this and I don't see any problem. I just say that and then he walks in midair, but
You say that he walks in midair and his foot clips through his kneecap, but there's no problem.
but
So we can all do
that.
that. We can all do that.
It just feels good. Like there are rarely like moments in which I'm embarrassed by watching. Like the last stream that we did it for 010, and 010 was a pretty solid version, but there were most of the times I was like like I was looking at people like not that they played wrongly, but like the game wasn't just ready. It's just it was too glitchy. And now for the most part, what I'm very happy about is it's sort of okay for 90% of the time.
Yeah, it's way better now.
I find it interesting how like it's funny because in 010 released, and I think this is the thing to know as well, that when you get as versions go, and I think it's probably what gives me a lot of like motivation. It's like as I remember in 010 where people basically could not vote, and you're like, oh god, this like I don't know if you guys, it was literally impossible.
Yeah.
Oh, you could never bail. Yeah,
You'd
yeah.
watch people and they'd spend 90% of the time bailing, but watching it here, how we thought, oh, the control system is never gonna work. The flicks, problems with the flicks, the people won't get it. And then now watching Dave here play, it's interesting to see because I'm like, he's just nailing every vault
This
back
is
to back
no
for the
man,
last
yeah.
like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it's like
Which is-
pixelated like this, it's no more.
Oh, Noma, yeah. So yeah, watching Noma just nail every vault back to back. It's interesting. It's like I guess it's refreshing to see that like, although like, yeah, it's I guess what I was saying to Zado earlier to the other guys, it's like what may not work initially because of like you have to always there's so many factors playing
Yeah,
into
yeah.
it. Like the game could be broken, it could be something with the camera, could be a bug. Like there's infinite things. But like as long as you leave yourself malleable to be like to both fix and change, you'll actually be alright. Because yeah, at one point I know we were very much like they're just not going to be able to vote with like flicks and yada yada. But they're looking at it now. It seems quite smooth. Obviously, he says as he's stuck. Oh, yeah. Get off that stream quickly, guys.
What's really nuts to me as well, and I actually put this in one of the messages in the Discord when I dropped a clip earlier, was because I remember when I first joined, I was asking how you was going to do like really tight, like close quarters flowy parkour rather than just single big movements. Like so, this rails in 0.1 were like impossible to play on because you could do two moves and then you couldn't really get back into it. This version at the moment, you can just snake back and forth, like almost seamlessly.
The locomotion is tightened up. That's one of the things. Like, oh, we played around with we played around a lot with I guess an angular error warper, which doesn't mean anything to anyone. But basically the ability to like rotate your character, like it's more gamey, like it's more arcadey in that sense. Like you'll see sometimes you're vaulting and you're literally able to turn your character. But it gives you a sense of control, and we'll keep going until we find that
it's
good
fun,
balance, right? Between it's
like
fun,
being able
right?
to do a
It's like-
reverse vault and like full 360 the rail and come back from where you started is so fun.
Yeah.
literally. So it's that balance, isn't it? It's like you want it to be realistic, but I think this is sometimes a thing as well. Like this game isn't going to be a sim. Like we want it to be realistic in a sense in which it's immersive in what it does, and it's not like a Mario arcadey like. Boop,
I think-
boop, like that. Nah, we don't want that. But like, it's not. It's also not going to be like a sim where you have to control each foot. Like,
No.
nah, that's doing too much. It should just be. It should be like you can strike that balance between the two that I think will appeal to everyone. It's cool. I think it's weird. It's interesting, like bridging the gap between the two. I guess between that
It's doing a good job so far though.
kind of arcadey stuff and yeah.
Yeah,
got a long way
we
to
were
go.
watching you know more.
I don't think we're quite there yet in terms of
Oh, sure.
because I still think some elements like the locomotion made a massive difference being more responsive. Which is another thing now. I've not seen a lot of like it's amazing, but I've not before I would see a lot of it's problematic in terms of it felt too slow. You couldn't turn or navigate the character in tight areas. Now, what's actually the case is the mechanics don't allow for you to do certain stuff, which is
fine.
basically you need to be able to do more rather
Yeah.
than like I need to be able to control my character so I can do this thing.
But
And like stuff like that, like
getting that feedback
Sorry.
at this stage is fine. That's all we want. So
yeah, for sure. Like the running jump, we can like the running jump. I think is terrible right now. But obviously that it's gonna change so much, and even the climbing, like so much stuff can be improved personally. So there's a lot can be like a lot better. So yeah, because the running jump it doesn't have really any like you don't really just kind of pray and hope like there. You should be able to jump up and stick or land. You know what he's doing. Or do what he just did, but with more consistency, right? Like in the same consistency that you can vault off things and over things, you should be able to jump over, jump between.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no, man, I hate the jump. Me too, mate. We
Yeah.
hate it as much as you, so it's gonna get better.
But to be fair, most of the work was done on like the gravity, the falling, the physics side of it, as opposed to the actual like launch of the jump. So I guess that would be the next thing.
Well, no work was done on that actually. Which like we do quite like, and bear in mind like a lot of these animations, if not 9%, are going to change.
Yeah,
like,
that'll
we
be
still
fixed
have
at some
to
point.
fix,
Standstill.
Yeah, because contextually, I don't want to say the code's wrong, but because I wrote it, but it's wrong. It does a pretty heavy approximation and doesn't account for your angle when we go for the distance match. So technically, the values you get sometimes, especially when you come at an angle, are wrong, which is what often, and the speed and the blend, it does an approximation rather than actual. So the distance matching and all those things are going to be drastically improved until they're spot on as we keep going. It's like someone stylistically said when you're coming through a different angle.
Are we also
it doesn't
planning...
account for that right now.
Sorry. Are we also planning to go back to using IK to like place the hand like on the wall or against it if you get too close type thing?
Yeah, we are, but I think like using IK is one thing. Using IK correctly is another thing.
Fair.
But then using IK correctly and make it look beautiful is yet another thing.
Yeah.
I think there are like levels in which you can use IK, and at the moment I would say we are not even at level 1. I think there is something always odd about the way we set up our control rig for our character at the moment. I'm still not convinced about. I'm always get confused about when I look at that control rig thing, my brain cannot work it out.
It's yeah, it's tricky. We'll get there though. We'll get there.
A beautiful thing is like sorry,
No, you go, because you do that, and then I'll answer some stuff in the chat.
Oh yeah, I was saying like one of the things that I am like happiest with the system is I actually think we found a good like workflow in terms of like the way like technology wise, like how we implement it. Like I think we've actually struck a good balance between like a physics based and an animation based system, because most are either one or the other, right? So like Assassin's Creed is like animation based, right? So pull you to the points, and if you go off, he's coming down. Or if you watch like Watch Dogs, when you jump off a roof or something, it literally just stops you mid-air, it just goes bang in the animation. Whereas ours is very much like at the moment you'll see some like jankiness of the actual like character, and it makes it fall quicker than it should. But like when the animation is actually the correct one and it's done properly, the motion is actually so flawless between animation and physics. And I think that is a really big win that we've managed to get. Like the fall, when like sometimes when you jump off or you vault off something and you fall, that transition and the land, and then be able to specify your landing, I think that in itself is a really big win from this version. So that I'm actually quite
happy. So let's catch up with some bits in the chat. Oh, that's right, we might have missed you, but I'll see you later. Clip inside the wall. Is it going to be leveling up and XP? I don't know what the current thought is, but as of the last conversation we had, the answer is kind of. So like, Robin, I don't think any of us particularly like the idea of unlocking moves by leveling up and putting points in the skill tree, because it doesn't feel supernatural and it's boring as hell and everyone's already done it. I think it's going to be the last conversation we had, I think, was something along the lines of, as you play and practice and you get more XP, your character like hidden stats will improve, so like confidence or speed, strength, things like that. So technically you've got access to the full library of movements from the start, but some of them will be like so impossibly hard you'll only hit it 1 in a million or 1 in 1,000, whatever. And then as you level up your character, they become more confident, they'll send moves better, things like that, and the harder stuff becomes slightly easier to pull off rather than explicitly like unlocking moves. But I don't know if that's still the direction. That was the last conversation I remember having.
Or like those are more like long-term gameplay. Like if you split the gameplay between, you know, what the player is doing every second, what the player is doing every minute, and what the player is doing every hour. I think like that XP and leveling up, and like more like RPG style things. They are more in the hour to hour
Yeah.
category. So I think I think the real answer is that we got no idea. It's still something that you can go either way. I mean, anyway, and I don't think there is. I think it would be quite silly to set something in stone now, where we really, we really don't know enough about the rest of that hour-to-hour gameplay. We even don't even know enough about the minute-to-minute. I think for now it's just the second-to-second, like making the character go super mega smooth and looking beautiful. Well, looking beautiful in terms of the animation, not on the level, because that is yet another topic. Like, of course, you see this white box here, but yeah, how do we create the game, like the visuals for the game, is another huge topic, right? That
yeah,
possibly tied quite well into the minute-to-minute gameplay, or the
probably, yeah.
And it's sort of like more. Yeah, I think like we don't even have a genre now. Like, what type of game it is? Like, it's not really. I don't really know what game it is, really. I mean, I think we shouldn't say this to if we ever have a publisher, then we got no idea what we're doing. But
I just tried to pick up some other streams, but they were failing to load, so I'll try again in a minute. Does more speed mean further jumping? Yeah, kind of. I mean, it will do better when it works. Currently, it kind of does, but the jump's not like amazing. For vaults, at least, if you hit the vault faster with the correct angle and timing, you'll go further. Because it influences what animation is picked, so it influences how much power is in that animation, how much the character's moving. So if you was to do a cat pass from standing, you just do like a tiny little monkey vault, so you just get your feet over and land. If you do it sprinting, it's like a full dive and you fly from it. So yeah, kind of, but it'll be refined as time goes on and things like that.
We had I had a good chat with Drew. With you there, we talk about like how they jump. So, and I asked him like, if you wanted to vault further or jump further, what would you do? And he was like, I'll just run like go faster. And I was like, well, that makes sense. Like you think of anything. Like if you want a bigger gap, you run harder at it, right? Or like, and then you launch more. Obviously, there's a combination between like your takeoff, but in general, it's like, just like send it more, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of think without overcomplicating it, like in the sense of like you had to like a power meter, all that kind of stuff. Just seems, yeah, it kind of just simplifies the point of like run faster, go further kind of vibes. But yeah, again, like don't really know.
Have you played?
I always thought, run faster, go further. Sorry.
Have you had a chance to play with that power mechanic that you were mentioning? That rather than like hold the trigger to charge it, it's about how quickly or how aggressively you do the input. So a slower input is less power, and a faster input is more power.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing with that, because at the moment I think it's too relying on the match of the animation match, but there's so many factors that's weighted that it's like I weight speed heavily as well, but we still don't have enough variation of speed for you to feel like your speed is actually varying. And it could be deterministic in a way that you can like, if I go this, like if I'm sprinting, I know I'm going to go significantly further than when I'm jogging, kind of vibes, which we just don't have right now. So yeah, with that power mechanic, I think it's more so about like, if we were to implement something like that, it would pick something more powerful, or we have like animation thresholds that it's like, okay, only pick power jump or like ones that have a certain thing over this point. And then at that point, we could also give it probably within like a 10 to 20% a nudge, like
Yeah.
more of an impulse in whatever direction to take off. And that being said, that also depends on if we start looking at giving it the right impulse so that it makes it to an edge. There's so many elements on it, because it could be the case of like, if there is no edge and you kind of just launching off it, then it can be like, okay, your speed of your flick or your speed of your like input can determine how much extra oomph you give it. But if there is something that is there, then it could be like speed of your flick determines, is it powerful enough within a threshold for us to pull you to that, to like give you enough of an extra boost or whatever in order to get you there, kind of thing. I think you're gonna have to play around and see like, is it easy enough to like jump between things by how intuitive is like powering something extra, or is it that we push you and pull you depending on sort of what the environment and your context is saying, within a range depending on how much power you give it. So if I know I need to push you further than what your speed is saying, did you give it more power, kind of thing? If so, push them further within a range, right? I'd never want to push you. Like if I get an animation that, you get the fastest animation we record, I don't want to push you double the distance, because that will never ever look good, and that is just probably a jump out of range. So power could almost be like, did you input enough in order to give you the nudge needed to do what you wanted to do, kind of thing. But I don't know. You could. I've quite frankly, I say that now. A month later, could be like, nah, we have a power meter and we're launching an extra thingy percent.
The only time I can see like a power meter, like charge it up thing, being the best way to do it, or the nice way to do it, would be for like standing jump, like standing prees. Because just doing it faster, that like you are actually charging there when you like.
You're charging it. That's what, for sure. I wonder, because I was thinking, again, like, is it a case of, rather than like power me, is it like a timing thing? Because then is it like, can you release at takeoff? Because I've always wondered, like, could like standing jumps be a sort of hold to like go into your thing and then you release at the perfect time in order to.
That might make more sense actually, because like in real life, if you was to crouch, like coil up for the standing jump and just hold it for too long, you lose all of that power.
All the power, right? So it's almost like the bar is like doom, right? So if you do it too early, you don't build it. So it's like it is a threshold and you bounce back down beyond it. And so basically being at max power means, so timing it perfectly, all that means is, because at the end of the day, like, it shouldn't be a case of like, I need to hit 72% power in order to make it to that pole. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, someone that doesn't play games should be able to be like, hold, press, or do a stick, right?
Yeah.
Like, I kind of feel like, I don't know, in my head, this is not like anything set in stone, but wondering if it could be like, okay, you hold and press, and then like your timing to take off will basically gives you your power range threshold. So if the thing is right in front of you, right, the thing all you have to think about really, like, it's not really power, it's more so timing the stick, and that's a separate mechanic, right? Sticking it, whatever it is. Okay. But then in terms of making it that far, that timing is more so like, did you time the jump well enough to basically maximize your power output? And all that is doing internally is deciding whether or not we give you enough of a nudge you need to get there within a range, right? So if you say like, I need an extra 20% on this jump on the standing jump in order to make it to that pole, and then I've held the power and I timed it within if you time it perfectly, it's 100%, and I time it within 80%, right? And you can, then you have a range and be like, okay, any jump above 80% can give them an additional 15% power, right? Or an additional X% power, or whatever it is, right? So then you're like, okay, well then your timing will determine how much further you can go, how much better of a jump you can do, how much we can help you and do what you want to do. So if you time it terrible, you're either hoping that the jump is really tiny, and then you have to consider your stick, and then there could be elements of that we then look at your timing impacting, like how good do you have to time your stick in order to do it, yada yada yada. Or if you time it perfectly, we say, hey, we can nudge you and pull you, do whatever we need to do to make sure that you get there, because you time the jump itself correctly, but then the landing is
That's
a separate
still on
time.
you.
It's almost like
Yeah.
split up into two things: the jump and then the landing. Right? Time the jump and then time the landing, as opposed to like try and find that perfect like how much power do I put in.
Which again makes sense from like a real life reference standpoint because they are two separate things. You could make the jump perfect in the distance and the power and everything, and then just completely bomb the landing.
I also think like, can you explain it to someone in like 3 words? Like,
Yeah.
because if I could just be like, oh, like release when you take off, as opposed to like, oh, you have to gauge the distance and then determine how much power you need. Hold the button to be like, that's so much longer. So like, hold to start your jump and release at the takeoff. The better you time it, the closer to takeoff you time it, the more power you get. Simple as that. Like, anyone, do you mean who does anything can pick up and start to understand that system? Like,
Hopefully.
yeah, you'd hope, and then you give it. And so I was like, what? Like, how do you jump?
Yeah. But we're always fighting that battle. We're fighting that battle internally, let alone externally.
It's true.
Is it a physics-based parkour game or animation-based?
Isn't that the question that we just answered?
Yeah, basically. We kind of just answered that. Is it coming to Steam? Eventually, yeah. It'll probably come out as an early access on Steam. I don't know when, but I can't imagine.
Well, nobody knows when, but Steam is such an important milestone, of course, for the game, because until it's out on Steam, well, I would say until it's out on Steam, any release or any shape or form, it's not really out.
It's not really real until it's on Steam.
It's out there,
Yeah.
that it's officially, officially there, and yeah.
I think it kind of depends on what we all agree is
The minimum
is enough. Yeah, what's the minimum requirement, or what does it have to be hitting before we're happy to release it to public?
Yeah,
Like to
I mean,
everybody.
we constantly, talk about this, and I think, so my point about releasing on Steam is until we are in a way confined by the parkour community. Of course, we know that we can get away with a lot of stuff, like as long as it's a good parkour experience, then people in the parkour community are gonna be happy. And at the moment, we are basically only like showcasing the game to the parkour community. We're not like, there's no gamer that, well, yeah, maybe there is, but it's very, very little percentage of people that are playing the game that they are not in the parkour community. So
yeah.
Once we release it on Steam, we basically open up the game to the entire video game community, and and we need to be prepared to that, because they won't understand that we got this white box level with no texture because we are just testing the game mechanic. They will just say, oh, it's PlayStation 1 graphics, they even go at textures, right? So there are a lot of things to take into account moving on to Steam that that we need to sort. And the main part, of course, is I think there are two main parts. There's of course the level, like the level design is actually, I think it's extremely good. Like the intricacies of like all these, all the moves that you can do in this place. I think it's it could be pretty much fine. It's the game visuals that that we're lacking, of course. And the elephant in the room, of course, is also the multiplayer. So once we have the multiplayer and the visuals sorted, then of course we're gonna be ready for Steam.
Yeah.
Now I think we can get away with Steam without the multiplayer. I think if we have a good solid, like if all of this level was beautifully done, and the game mechanics were solid, a lot more solid than this.
Yeah.
I think that is an okay early access. We will still have criticism in form of, oh, there is nothing, like there is not much to do, right? But adding gameplay in terms of like adding a time trial, adding a AI chase, and like, well, you know, AI chase maybe not, but adding very simple gameplay mechanics is very easy.
Yeah.
If you don't like, yeah, adding AI is a lot harder, but I don't think we need a lot of AI to release into Steam. I think like AI could be something that gets developed in while we are in.
Yeah,
early
for
access.
sure. For sure.
So yeah, I think early access will really give the team, well, we can start getting some money. That is a start to really run the team and not like just you know like barely scraping because we sold 3 copies yesterday and we couldn't pay for the breakfast, right? So I think Steam will give us also the enough money to really run this game.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then it will ramp up quite quickly from there, won't it?
Yeah, potentially. I think like a good release, and this is why it's important because if we release it on Steam, right, and we miss like the first week is all like is mainly like your sales are basically your first week, especially if you are an early access. Um, if you like in the first week there is a little bit of a buzz, like various websites and industry insiders are talking about it, and like if you don't maximize that first week, then we're dead because it's so hard to gather visibility when there are a million other games of that platform, and most of them they're just like silly little Unity games that they flood the market, right? So once you're not visible anymore, then you're doomed. So we cannot risk going into Steam too early, because if we miss that chance, then basically nobody will never know about the game. Having said that, it's not exactly true because we got huge advantage there. We got the STORROR boys that they got 9
Yeah.
million followers, so we're still gonna be in a much better place than
But
most of the other indies.
But you still want to capitalize on that first
yeah,
week.
you don't want to miss it. Yeah.
No. Also, I need to talk real quick because can someone take over the chat?
Yeah, I still got that. So we're gonna skip Leonard because
we're gonna skip every chat.
yeah, all right. So which one we didn't answer? Are famous STORROR locations in the game? Yeah, like actually the wall run at the beach is called the Suicide Wall, and it's actually one of the. If you look at in the channel, we got a couple of clips that we did at the Suicide Wall. We also recorded a mini movie intro trailer at the in there. It's quite nice, and yes, for sure they're gonna be the STORROR locations in the game. Emmanuel Peña, I can speak Spanish a little bit, and let me see. Los gráficos son muy buenos. It means that the graphics are really good. So thank you. I'm really not sure that is the case, but thank you for the compliments. Sigue siendo el prototipo. Yes, I think we're gonna be we're gonna be in the prototype stage for like a long time. We're not gonna yeah, we're probably gonna be pre-alpha pretty much forever. Would it be purchasable boots? Boots, not boots. Anyway, boosts. Or energy drink that make you run faster. I think I don't know about you guys, but I don't. I really hate the concept of uh um pay to win. Like
Oh
if you
mate,
spend money and you shouldn't be uh yeah
I think he probably means like in-game currency, right? Like you complete a
yeah I think
challenge
yeah
and you
even
get like
currency yeah
50
for
quid.
sure yeah.
But even yeah, like to be able to buy and unlock stuff from, like as a reward for playing well. I think any rewards for playing well probably shouldn't give you a gameplay advantage, but more
No,
so would be like a
just
cosmetic
cosmetic, right?
advantage.
Like
Yeah.
like Fortnite. I think Fortnite did it very well. I think for the most part, Fortnite made it like
Yeah.
almost the perfect game, right? They just did
Perfect game,
so
yeah.
many correct decisions in there. Um, yeah. Actually, what are the other bits of the chance? Then
When doing
sorry,
makeup sessions.
we are gonna ignore you. Oh, no, I'm kidding. Um,
When doing mocap sessions, is it only the Stora team that wears suits, or do you have other people volunteer? Currently, just Stora guys, because I mean, we don't have we're nowhere near at their range of what these guys can do. So anything we need, they could do it. Um, I anticipate maybe in the very, very future, we might get to a point where we want to have some moves that they're like, someone else could do this a lot better. Maybe some of the flips and tricking stuff. Um, it will be worthwhile getting someone else in for that. But again, it'll be someone in the parkour community.
oh, we
And
got
realistically, I think it'd be on their own character. Like,
yeah. We got 16 athletes that like originally they sign up for um to be in the game. We got Dom Tomato, we got Ed Scott. I'm pretty sure Verki wants to be. Actually, I spoke to Verki very briefly in at the War Run, and he was very keen to that. So, and we also got a few girls that wants to be in the game. We got Azal, we got Sydney. So yeah, Drew and the Story boys, they talk with 16 of these people in the parkour community, and if you are in the parkour community, you most likely know all of them, and they were really keen on that. There is a super cool guy. I watch him. I follow him on Instagram. He's a Spanish guy. He only has one leg, and he does parkour better than anybody else with just one leg. And he wants to be in. He's one of the 16 that is gonna be in the game. He's incredible to watch. I wanna just ping his Instagram here because it's really is incredible. Um, and I think like that is gonna be a big part, right? Like, of course, is the story game, but like story is so synonymous with parkour that you need to have other people right in there.
yeah,
You know,
it's
the
a
likes
community
of
game too.
Storm and other
Yeah,
people. Just they need to be
yeah,
there. Otherwise, it's not really a parkour game. It's a commercial, right?
yeah. It's. I think that's the thing. I think Stora is. I always say they're the only guys that can do this because I think their brand is like they have enough of a narrative and like they can be made into a game because of their style of parkour. Um, but I think, like you said, like what will make it really fun was like incorporating other people into it, like their own challenges. Like maybe someone sets it from playing the game, and then Joe Scandrett has a super like crazy
Oh
descent, or
yeah,
Dom has a
Gandalf as well is
crazy
in the game.
stick,
Yeah.
like all those kind of stuff. I think that's what's gonna make this like as big for the parkour community as possible, and not just like obviously huge for Stora, huge for the gaming community, huge for the parkour community, but you know, for everyone else in parkour, it's also a really big thing for them, a great opportunity for them to, you know, get out there, do their own thing, and be involved in something cool. So, yeah.
So the questions are, no sarà multigiocatore. No, he's gonna be multiplayer. Emmanuel, yeah. Sí, multijugador, pero no ahora, muy, muy tarde, pero está a multijugador. Thank you, Sandstorm, for the compliment. Thank you, a Russian name that I cannot say. Will be character selections and maps soon. Character selections, I think. Yeah, the idea was to bring the Story Boys, all of them 7, in as soon as possible. Maps selection, not much because we haven't got any. Actually, we got a new map. We got actually a new, very, very sick map that some character did. And that could probably be in at some point. You can play now on the PlayStation 4. The original plan was to have it on the PlayStation 4. I really don't know if that is still the case, but I hope so.
As much backwards compatibility as possible. I want to play it on my N64.
Yeah, I'm gonna play on the PlayStation 1, yeah. And I wanted to ask about Dom. Yeah, Dom. He said that he really wants to be in the game. What's the world of cameos? Are you thinking about going to models or NPC? Sorry, what? David. I'm not sure. Can anyone take David's question?
Yeah, I think it means like what's their role gonna be like? Are they just gonna be like, hey, you can play as them, or are they gonna like have a purpose? I think probably
Right,
a bit of all of them, right? Like you can play as them, you can use them, but then also like I think it'd be cool to like do them like incrementally, bring them into the game as a way to get like post-launch content to be like, oh, we're dropping Hazar with a new mission or something like especially given by her, she follows you along, like stuff like that. I think it'd be quite cool as a way to like.
We could even tie it into releasing areas with them as well. So work with the athlete,
yeah,
and they pick like a world location that they want their section to be in, and things like that.
To be in, yeah, 100%.
Oh,
I guess
yeah,
that ties in nicely to the question of character character creator. Like, should you be able to
character creation? Yeah.
I personally, I think you got to like. I think at the end of the day, like people want to see themselves do it. Like that's the reason why. Like you watch because you know you can't do it, but also you play because you wish you could. Do you mean?
I mean, not just that, but also people that actually do parkour, and it's either like weather conditions or they've got an injury or something like that, and this like scratches the itch, but also helps them like if there's real world locations, you can scout stuff and test lines and things like that, test camera angles and stuff.
Yeah, I think
how sick would it be
character selection with the face and stuff, because it gives a little bit more of a personal feeling.
That's what I think. I think it helps immersive. Like, how sick would it be? Like, you're outside doing parkour, and then you record a clip, and then you go in the game and do the same thing, and you can see yourself do it in game and in real life. Like, come on, you know what I mean? That's like, oh, I didn't know you could do that.
No, me neither.
I actually looked away. I was looking at the chat. I completely missed it.
You like ran up the slope.
Guys, I'm gonna have to hop off of here, but if we want to talk any audio stuff real quick, we could do that.
Oh yeah, any audio questions before we come back to the chat for other stuff?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm out in the U.S. and it's my wife just got off work. We're about to have some dinner plans, so
fair.
Earlier for me.
Yeah, I think
you have a life, Brandon?
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
outrageous. Who has a life? Work
How
only.
dare you?
Work all the time.
See my cat right there? That's my life.
Yeah, Brandon, do you wanna just explain a little bit what you did for, because there is a lot of audio going on in this version, and I think like people may not, appreciate there is quite a bit of, well, a lot of work that has been done in the audio for Serial 11. So if you wanna introduce, your work
Yeah.
before you have to.
Um, definitely. So, like, actually, I think like one of the biggest compliments is probably that people don't really notice it because it means like it sounds realistic and they're just kind of like playing in this world. They're getting lost in it as opposed to picking out every sound. But the first thing that I kind of did was I just added some environmental sounds like wind noise. Like we're constantly hearing noise even if you don't think you are. Like even in a room, if you just turn on a microphone and leave it, no one's in the room or anything, you'll hear just noise. It's called room tone, but that exists out in the world as well. So I just added some of that just for the initial sound in the ear. Added some winds that change occasionally. They'll gust a little harder, they'll come off. Um, I added some sounds placed specifically around the map. As you run around, you'll hear it. Seagulls is one of them. We all know that seagulls and STORROR are like
synonymous.
Peanut butter and jelly. I don't know if you guys eat that over there, but that's big in the U.S. And so seagull sounds around. I got sounds for the water all around. There's other birds flying around. We have some like AC units laying around, just essentially layering and creating a realistic base of sound that's hitting the ears constantly and develops and changes as you move. I also added, it's fairly rough right now, as with everything else, just like any of the other design, the audio is going to refine as we go. Don't think of these as the last in-game audios. Everything's going to pretty much get better as time goes on. These are more or less placeholders for now. But created a dynamic wind system, so the faster the character goes, the more wind you get, because that's what happens to our ears. Go outside and run real quick, you'll hear wind pick up in your ears. So I threw that on, and we're currently developing the sound for characters, so like running, his clothing, him physically making sounds as he's doing things, different materials that his feet hit. Concrete and grass sound very different. So we're in stages of collecting, editing, and then getting those into the game. We're trying to devise a system that works to seamlessly go through all of these different environments. And that's taking a bit of time, but I think in our next release we'll have those character sounds. One thing that will be really cool is hopefully I can go out to the UK in the next year or so and actually sit down with the guys and record their voices, their noises that they make, so that the character actually sounds like them. And just some of their their isms, you know what I mean? Like Binge does different things than Toby vocally or like straining wise. Like Josh is a very quiet person. Like I watched the video. It might sound weird, but when I'm watching those videos, I'm like really listening to them as people to hear the sounds and tones that they make. And Josh is a quiet dude. He doesn't really strain ever. He like is very flowy and not like he doesn't even make a lot of impact when he's landing on stuff. He's a very quiet individual. But someone like Callum or something, he is more powerful, so he makes more noise. He's also a bigger guy, so he hits the ground harder. So those are all things that we have to take into account for the future. And that's where we're going with that. And obviously each environment's going to be completely different with sounds. London and Paris sound different. We're going to take all that into account, and hopefully we'll have some more fine detailed stuff coming to you guys soon.
Yes, I think the stuff that was very impressed with Brandon when we start chatting about him joining the team. I remember one of the first things that you said, like, we got this very blocky and white level and whiteboard level, and you said, "Oh, is this London or Paris?" And I thought, well, this could be really anywhere because this is just this random blocks put in there. And I think like it's so important that like for you to have that vision that even thinking about that the the sounds of the cities, they no, the cities sound different. It's
Yeah.
not something that you hear very often. I was very struck by your attention to detail into like with everything relates to sound. And because in the games that I've been working on in the past, we we always had a lot of work made on the on the sound system. Like like we had a team of 10 people just working on sounds, and it was such a huge part of the game. And we also won a few BAFTAs for best sounds and blah blah. And it's refreshing to see that Brandon really gets that level of that quality and level detail that is required for production to really excel. And that's something that most of the indies that I know, they just don't look into that. They just say, yeah, let's just slap a 2D sound in the game and just like play the whatever like boom sound. It's yeah, it's very refreshing to see that. And just the first the first couple of audio bits that you work on in the game. One of my favorite one is the wind system that you did. That when Josh is falling, there is this very subtle wind that like follows you while your character is falling. It's just like I think the trick there is if you don't notice, you did an amazing job. If you start to notice, is where it gets yeah, what gets either too much or or too wrong. So,
Yeah, it's almost like really good CGI in a movie, right? Like
yeah,
really good CGI you're actually not noticing. There's movies that you have no idea there's CGI in it. It's the most
Yeah.
random movie. It's like a comedy movie, but there's this one part and you don't notice it because it's done so well. It's when it's outlandish that your eyes like, okay, that's wrong. I don't like it. I don't. It's a very similar thing. Like, and I hope that you guys, players and stuff, maybe you'll take a second to listen and go, okay, that's cool. Like, there is a world here, but if you don't, that's fine too. Like, it's meant to be, you're meant to fall into it, almost. And that's obviously there's music playing too, so you're not going to hear everything distinctly.
Mm.
But in the real world, you just walk outside and you don't think anything of it. And that's kind of the same thing that I'm trying to create in this game.
and also like when you put the seagulls. For some reason, I got some seagulls outside my house. I'm not near the seaside, but for some reason they are. I still hearing them. And when you start putting the seagulls in the game, like I was genuinely confused if they were the real ones or it was the one in the game. They were like literally exactly the same thing. And I think that, like I think it's just amazing. Just the fact that I get confused all the time if those are the real seagulls that are here or not. It's a testament of yeah, the quality of the audio. And we got like very sparse audio now. Like we probably got like 5%, right, of all the audio, right?
I mean,
And then,
I don't even know if we're at
like,
5%,
yeah,
to be
exactly.
honest. We're probably
Maybe
like at 1.
1%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is so baseline. Like, if I want to get super technical in numbers, I think there's something like 1,700 or 2,000 just footsteps sounds that we're going to have by the end of it.
Wow.
Because you have to think there's 7 people, and so we're going to need each of them to do footsteps for each different, concrete, grass, mud,
Yeah.
water, glass, metal, different kinds of metal, wood, like, and you want like at least 10 footsteps per thing so that there's some variation. So there's going to be like just, thousands of just footsteps, thousands of just hand slaps, thousands of, so we're so in just the that's why I say the audio is 100% going to get better, just like the graphics will get better, just like the design, everything's going to get better. We're at, version 0.11, and that's the same thing with audio. We're there with audio, so when it gets to version 1, it's going to be hopefully very quite expansive, and again, hopefully you guys don't really notice. That's the main thing.
So, guys, buy a new hard drive because
It's gonna be a big game.
Yeah, and we'll obviously do our best to work that down as much as we can, and if we see we can do it with 5 steps each instead of 10, then we'll go there. But we might try to use, now with meta sounds being such a powerful tool, we might only need 5 sounds instead of 10 because we can add that variation to pitch and tone in there. But I'm also learning the system. So as I get better with Unreal, the audio stuff will just get better inherently because I understand it more. So yeah, as time goes on, this will all get a lot better.
We got a question also for you.
You've opened the jar. You've opened the can now. You keep trying to leave, and people keep asking you questions.
No, it's all right. I'll stay until 4:30 or 30, whatever 30 it is for you guys. For me, it's 4:30.
Yeah, 9:30 at night for us.
Question.
Brandon, any thoughts on surround sound?
Sorry, what was that, Dado?
No, sorry. There was somebody. I think somebody was going. Somebody got a question in the chat, and somebody got a question in the Discord, I think.
The one in the chat is any thoughts on surround sound?
You guys went at the exact same time. How about we go Discord first, then chat?
Sorry.
Eden, take it away.
Yeah, it's more of like a dev question. I'm a tech audio designer, so it's really cool to hear that you guys are enthusiastic and you care about audio. That's nice to see.
Yeah, thanks.
It's less of a player question, so not really relevant to people that don't make games, but I'm just wondering, like, did you decide to use like meta sounds or something inside of Unreal, or are you using like fmod wise for middleware?
Yeah, we're currently using Unreals. We're using, meta sounds.
Yeah.
And so it's a powerful tool, so we're just exploring it. If it can't do what we want later in the game as we're developing, we'll switch over to Wise. That's what I learned in school, was how to use Wise.
Yeah.
But I think that meta sounds is so powerful. I don't think we're going to have to switch over. It unlocks quite a lot. I don't know how much you've messed around with it, and as it gets better, it'll obviously grow and get better. But I think it's going to allow us to really keep everything in game, which is pretty sweet,
Yeah, I've pretty much exclusively used like fmod wise, so it'll be really interesting to see what you can get done with it.
Yeah, it's a new thing, but I'm learning a lot about it, and it seems like it's really the future of it. Like they're just, I guess Unreal is just trying to essentially have Wise be inside Unreal, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, nice. Well, that was all. Cheers.
Yeah, thanks. All right, chat one.
You got 2 in chat now. First one, David MacArthur. Are there any thoughts on surround sound?
Not currently. Currently, I'm just trying to build a, just get everything in place. And I think as we get closer to finalization is when I'll start looking more at that stuff. Currently, right now, we're just in stereo, have a good stereo layout, but I think that will be deeper and down closer to the end when I start working on the finalizing of things and making it surround or not.
I thought you did everything in Atmos Dolby, like 10.1, right? 10.2.
Yeah, doing everything in mono, just straight
Well,
notes.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all in the 18-bit or whatever. No, it's yeah, we'll definitely look towards that as we're getting closer to the end. Right now, I don't even think we're able to talk about it, but I'm sure we will. Like, I think all of us want to do the best and like the highest level work that we possibly can, and I think that is just going to take time for us to get there. We're still in our baby steps right now.
So second question, wait, hang on. Is there famous audio songs from STORROR in the game, or are there famous songs? What ideas are there?
Currently, none of the songs that we have in there are famous songs. These are some of them are from Callum, and some of them are from his friends that just let us use them for the game. I think as time goes on, we will approach it and ask people, kind of see what the atmosphere is like if people want a bunch of money for their song, if it's famous, that all depends on what level, if we're funded, if we have a bunch of money to pay for songs or not, um, and if not. But I think that's all going to just depend on funding and whatnot. If we're still indie when it's time for release, it will probably just be a call gets put out like, hey, do you want your song in our game? We potentially
Friends,
have this many
backers, things
followers,
like that.
yada yada yada. Yeah, maybe just put out a call, be like, hey, you're not gonna get paid, but you'll get your song on this game. And then I think that something, and we've talked about it several times between us, that is going to be very important is actually sitting down with the store guys to kind of get that right sound for their game, because they're very intentional about the songs that they put on their videos, obviously, because they have a certain flow and tone. We kind of want to match that in the game, and so I think it's going to be important to sit with them and find that sound.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Well, hey, great talking to you guys. The game looks awesome, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you for joining us.
Yep. Bye,
Have
guys.
fun tonight. Peace.
We have other questions and answers, I think. Gans, can you run through the questions that we didn't ask? I lost count.
Yes, I can do. So that was answered. That was answered. That was audio stuff. Okay. Wall running? Question mark. Yes. Full stop. There's your answer. Yeah. I know I was talking to David about it a little while ago, because wall run is not actively being worked on at the moment, but it's being planned and being thought about.
Yeah.
But rather than it being like, we were talking about, rather than it being like a move, like a vault where you just input it and do it, like Mirror's Edge type thing, it was more about like combining it as part of the locomotion. So you'd have a way of transferring momentum from being like completely verticals, like against the wall. So it's all seamlessly part of it, rather than just like hit a wall, press a button, I'm done.
Yeah.
How that gets
Yeah,
implemented is a
I like
different
the
story.
idea of being part of the locomotion, as in like technically speaking, part of the motion matching part, which means that basically the wall run, it will be like you turning left. It should be
If you get the speed and the angle and that.
yeah. Although it's a lot harder than it looks. It's yeah.
That's gonna be a fun one
yeah,
though.
I
When
would
that
love
gets
to
worked
do
out.
that.
Yeah.
The one of the first things on motion matching I remember seeing, I think Michael, you know that presentation by Michael Butler at Dado?
Yeah, we talked to the guy, right?
Yeah.
No,
that was
with
Christian. Yeah, but Michael Butler, he does a and there's a bit where in the motion matching, he does a wall run. No, it's a very short one. He literally goes on a wall
yeah.
And I was just like, imagine that being a full like. I think like all those kind of states, right, where it's sort of like a state as opposed to an action. I think if you make them part of locomotion, or just like your character reacts to the environment in that way, same way with balancing, same way with shimmying and squeezing. Like, I think that's what makes them actually fully like immersive in a way. Like, because if you think about it realistically, like something like balancing, for example, like when you're on a beam, you don't like. So many games they put you on the spline and then you're doing like whoa, and you're doing your balance mechanic and stuff. But your character's like he's aware that he's on this pole. Like, you don't need to tell him. Like he knows that he's balancing. And there's so many like if you actually look about it, it's like there's so many contextual things. Like just the context in itself should let you know you're balancing. So why can't we just react and then just rather than you have to play out some like tired mechanic, just navigate yourself, but be more careful in your navigation, so to speak. And same way with the wall run, just like angle yourself, arc your run more, like just like run how you would and navigate how you would in just a more complex way. I mean, that would be. Sorry, that was super.
No, it's 100% no. Non-audio one this time. So real gamers have dual monitors, but so few games use them. It'd be amazing to see something like second screen showing a GoPro view or something. That'd be cool. I'm not entirely sure how it'd work, but it'd be cool. Might be worth like playing with ideas, see if we can think of something fun for that. But but the problem is you can't work with the expectation that everyone's got it, so you can't have anything cool split across 2 monitors. It would have to be like some fun bonus thing. Yeah,
So, what is the question?
It's like 5 messages back or something from David MacArthur. So he's saying like, so yeah, a lot of gamers have 2 monitors, but games only ever use one. So something like sharing a GoPro view or something on that second screen.
Oh, that's such a cool idea. I love that. Yeah, I think like, yeah, it's quite hard to generalize that, but you know, if you detect they have 2 monitors and a lot of GPU power.
Oh yeah, because you're running it twice effectively.
Yeah, you're running it twice. Yeah, it's such a good idea. I actually love that idea.
Yeah, so all right, there you go. There's something we'll chat about, and it will probably keep coming up now, and we'll keep trying different things with it. But is it set only in England or famous Netherlands? No, it'll be the spots will be international, so it'll be like a lot of London and like southern England's type stuff, but then it'll be like Utrecht with the canals and Hong Kong rooftops and loads of stuff. So yeah, 100%. Supreme Commander had a great way of working with dual monitors. I didn't know that. I played Supreme Commander really briefly when I was younger, like on the Xbox, and I didn't like it. I fell out of love with that game very quickly. So what does Supreme Commander do for dual monitors?
Supreme Commander? Is that a game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every so often when I watch someone play, they'll just get like a sequence that's just so nice. And I'm just like, if I could just make that every time. Because it picked 3 animations that I'm like, I know those ones are actually good. And I was just like, man, if they're all like that, it's just crispy. It's just crispy. You know?
I like when people are switching between the GoPro mode and the third person view like in a cinematic way. It's actually quite incredible to watch that.
Oh, you did that just there.
People are playing very well actually. See, I think like the difference between this stream and the 0-10 stream, the 0-10 stream with 50% of the time was telling people, no, like go back, no, do it faster, do it quicker, no, just press the other button. Yeah. In this stream, it was like, oh wow, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. I mean, that's cool. But you know what, David? The more I watch these streams, and the less I think the follow-up camera should be our main camera. Because there is so much cinematography in here that people are doing that we don't want to lose.
I don't know, because I watch it and I still just see at the end of the day, every single camera perspective is just from the back of the plane.
No, there was a really that. I don't know, like the ability for people to choose this angle. I don't know, just it feels so nice. But
I almost think I think for base gameplay, the follow cam just allows you to do so much more, and I think you can choose the angle if you toggle free cam or something like that.
Yeah.
Because if you watch like 90% of the clips that I've seen people play, they're going from behind, and they only like realistically they know and if they're going from the side, they're zooming out, so it's almost a different camera mode. And so I'm always wondering, could you maybe even like you said, set the camera in that position, like free look, revert it back to follow cam, free look, pull it out, and then that in itself becomes a skill in terms of like, okay, then the cam's going to follow you, same as a follow cam, but from this position instead. And so you can go, then you can reset it, or you can move it to a different position, or you can, you can keep bouncing between follow cam and free look in order to set the camera how you want to do for your line. And that is when you then get the next, that is the level up. So as you want to make your runs more cinematic, it's like, but for me, like the most cinematic thing is when you're up behind and you're weaving through and you feel like you're in there.
Who is playing now? He's playing very well.
And this is still Oh, this is Jackstar.
Wow.
Jackstar's the only one streaming at the moment. It's been Jackstar for ages.
Okay. He really knows how to play. He knows all the
He's alright.
keys.
I mean, it's taken him nearly an hour to do this time trial, so you know.
Ironically, he's played for an hour. The fact he's played for an hour must mean that Sammy's a little bit fun, at least.
Yeah. Well, that's actually incredible to
So
yeah, I like.
Yeah, we'll definitely have an editor and like replay and all that stuff.
oh yeah. So the going back to that Supreme Commander dual monitor thing, because I looked it up a little bit and David was saying as well. So what it is basically, it was the same camera view on both monitors, but you could have different levels of zoom because it's like an RTS strategy game. So you could have one zoomed in for the battle cam and one zoomed out to see the whole map. But they're lit, so you're able to have both views at once rather than toggling in and out. And someone was mentioning having like that dual monitor thing, using the second one to set like a drone path, and maybe like have like a map, so you've got the drone path, so you can see where the drone is and the route it's going to take. So you could have like the line set up for the drone on one monitor, and then whilst you're playing on the main one, you can be checking to see where the drone is along the path to make sure you're in the right place. Which should be quite interesting.
Yeah, but I think like the idea of using it's a little bit like PlayStation tried to do with was that the PS Vita or the PSP? That they basically use that, or like basically what
Oh yeah.
Nintendo does for most of their games, right? They have that monitor there, like I don't know, the map or whatever, like
Yeah.
the secondary input, and I think if you have that set up is very nice. Yeah. I think every developer will have 2 monitors. Every software development will have at least 2 monitors.
I mean, most PC gamers will, not all, but most PC. But when it comes to console, that's when you're really like doing someone out of a mechanic.
It's
So it can't be like a core mechanic that's using the 2 monitors.
No. It's only like one thing that you do as a stretch goal thing.
The question,
Like, how sick would it be if you had like, if when you were on a security chair? Sorry, this could be.
No,
when
no.
you were on a security chair, you were like a helicopter cam, and it was like the police report, like, and it was like following you around, and you could see yourself, but you one screen was
cool
like
as
the
hell.
police chasing you, and you could see like how they were trying to catch you and all that stuff, so you could avoid routes and stuff. And then you could be like, yeah,
that would actually be sick. That'd be so cool.
Like, O.J. Simpson mode.
I love him. Out of all criminals, he chose OJ, like the most old school. That tells you, if that doesn't tell you Dado's age, then I don't know.
No, because my wife was watching a documentary on Netflix about that police chase.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I remember, that was very famous. There was like the CNN or something like that was doing the police chase, like real time police chase.
What year was that? I don't know. Was that what year was that?
Late 90s, 98, 99, something like that.
I literally wasn't even born.
Yeah. No, I think it was mid-90s. I think it was 95, something like that.
OJ trial. Oh, 94.
No,
94.
Not the trial.
So yeah.
That's like 6 years before I was born. I have no.
Oh, you're such a cherub. You're such a baby.
What is a cherub? A baby.
The cherub is, like the angel baby with the wings type. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a cherub.
I see. See, I'm too young to even know that.
Too young to respect classical art.
Rest of these elderly people.
Freaking millennials here. Millennials everywhere. Actually, technically, you're Gen Z, right?
David. Yeah.
What,
Yeah, you'd
what
be
is Gen Z? That Gen Z, is that 2000s plus?
I don't know.
It might be.
My,
What year were you
Is
born?
then. I am Gen Z then. I
You
was
2000.
born in 2000.
2000 is still millennials, right? No, don't know. I know that I'm Gen X, the best one.
You're a boomer, aren't you?
No, a boomer is a couple of years before me. My dad is a fool.
That is, I don't know. I would not have that.
Oh, sorry. Am I fired? I'll leave.
Fire him on the spot.
I'll leave.
And you leave,
He's been fired, right? So.
and you get 3 months' pay, which is 0.
So we go, guys. We're gonna give you 100% of your salary for 3 months, but you have to leave. It's,
I'll take it.
okay.
Question from listening: Will there maybe be a button like in Red Dead 2 that you can have an external drop cam button press while you play? As in, you can drop a camera to leave a viewpoint there. Oh, so like setting up a camera, like setting up a GoPro in a position and doing a live from a static view. Yeah, yeah.
Really hard. So I think what could even be is like setting up cams all over the shop, and then you go to an editor and you can get the viewpoint of your line from all the different cameras, and you can sort of you can literally make a clip.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
but that would be part of the whole editor system, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, that's yeah. I mean, you're not going to do it without it, right? You'd have to have the editor system, and then it'd all be part of it together.
I don't speak Spanish. Sorry.
The prototype is very good, aside from some technical stuff. Needs some technical improvement.
I mean, I could get odd words, but I couldn't read the message.
Yeah, it's generally very good feedback from Emmanuel.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, we're gonna improve for sure, because we don't want to release it like this. Clearly.
Question from Ghostface. Do you guys intend on adding a wall run mechanic? We've actually gone over this, but if you're late to the stream. Yeah, but not as like an event, so not like a vault type thing. It'd be more as like baked into the locomotion system. So your movement would go from along the ground to along the wall and back based on speed, angle, timing, step, all sorts of stuff.
How ambitious is this project?
Incredibly. Every single aspect is trying to break ground on every front.
But no, I would rephrase it. I would say I just want to make the best game that we can, and
fair.
That, for my standard, it means a freaking good game. Yeah.
Top tier. I think for me, the dream is that it's a game that stays alive. Like you were saying earlier, David, if years after the release, people, even if it's a small, like, cult almost, still come back to it and replay it and it's still got content being made. If that happens, chef's kiss.
Yeah, man. I feel, mine, I guess it's the same. I think, I always think like, with what the game is in terms of like being the first game that's like, when you say truly about parkour, but like can capture the community itself. I always think you like, sometimes you get one opportunity for a lot of this stuff, to really like put in it's so rare that you have it, right? Like Tony Hawk for skating, like it's very rare you have an opportunity to make a game for a whole culture or a sport that can really revolutionize it.
Yeah.
In terms of in an industry, and really like put it on the map, and also like especially an up and coming, like a sport that isn't like, it's not like unknown. Like parkour has a big audience, but it isn't in terms of like the
fully understood though.
The thing like skateboarding, and I think it's quite misunderstood a lot as well. So like I think you get one shot, and I think for me is like, if I can look back and be like, this game did for parkour, like was big for parkour, and like it will always go down in the books for parkour, like it's like what Tony Hawk did for skateboarding. And we can look back and be like, in 10 years time, people are not even just parkour games, but I think movement systems in general, like how do you move your character? Everyone thinks, oh, like it's good, but it doesn't move like SPP. I want my character to be, even for like shooting games or like adventure games and Assassin's Creed games, they're comparing it to this game. That is like the level that would be like, oh yeah, cool. We actually innovated. You know what I mean?
Also, thank you for the donation, Ghostface. It's much appreciated. For the wall runs.
I goddamn loved Assassin's Creed Unity. That to this day, I think damn near might be my favorite game ever, because I played that game stupidly, and there was a smoothness to it, and it's kind of like the one thing I didn't like is I guess the lack of control. Like it felt to a point, it felt like you were watching cool stuff happen, as opposed to like you were making cool stuff happen.
That
I
hurts.
think that if we could tap into like I love Assassin's Creed Unity bangs. That game is so unreal. It got so much hate as well because I never got the laggy stuff. I don't know. I never had it. So like my experience was beautiful. So I just had the most amazing game. And the multiplayer was fun. Like it was just so much good things about it, for me at least. So like yeah, whenever I compare it, I'm like, does it feel as flowy as Unity? If it can have the control of like a skate game, the fluidity and the flow of Unity, whilst giving you like the versatility of like different moves and stuff like any other sim like parkour moves, then my god, we hit jack. But Unity was a banging game.
I was really unlucky with Unity because I played it early, like when it first came out, and I got all the problems like the bugs and laggy stuff and that, and it tarnished my opinion of it so much. I tried going back to it, and I was coming back to it with a bad mentality, so it's really unfortunate. Thing that sold me in this game is it's going to be Tony Hawk's of parkour. It's a parkour game, not a game of parkour. Yeah, that's exactly it. And it's the difference between other games. Parkour isn't a tool of this game; it's the core premise, which is why Daddy and David have done so much. Like you guys think they've done a lot of work on what we've already got. You can't even fathom the amount of hours these boys put in. It's obscene. For like a year straight, I was putting in ridiculous hours. I was doing like 16, 17-hour days, and they were destroying me. They were putting way more hours than that, and they've been doing it for like 2 years. So yeah, this is gonna be the piece de resistance. Do you think it's gonna be possible for online parkour events? Oh, 100%. We're already talking about ways of like pseudo multiplayer to bridge the gap until multiplayer is in officially, with like community events through community streams and like releasing a specific version of the game, or we're trying to work out a good way of doing it. But the social community competitive tournament aspect, that's got to be a massive part of it.
Oh, thank you for the $9.99, the wall run. Ghostface, thank you.
With the online stuff as well, I think we're such a the thing that parkour's so sick about is that I think we're in a perfect place to opportunity because like parkour jams and all the different competitions to be like to merge like real life and the online. So like I always think like how cool would it be to have an online jam and then that is a replica of the real life jam, and like you could do either or. Like so you have your real life jam on the Saturday, and then the following Saturday you have the online jam in the same spot, and then you have the same competition with the same like it'd be sick, and then you can win the same prizes that you win in real life. In like you just create this like symbiosis between the two, and then all of a sudden you get like Big Wall Open. We have in Brighton there, like the STORROR guys had Big Wall Open. You do that, and then you go into level. You have Big Wall Open as well, and we're sending up like the exact same thing. Like when if the game's big enough, like we have like an online jam, and the best person that comes out here does the best tricks, wins the most things, whatever, wins £1,000 of like actual money, like both in game and real life. And it's just like, hey, for anyone that can't do parkour real life, you could still have that community feeling that you get from going to a jam in real life. You can get that exact same thing in game. And I think that is again the fundamental thing. It's like this game should encapsulate all elements of parkour beyond just like doing parkour. You should get that sense of community, that sense of friendship, that sense of challenge, that sense of obstacle. Like all of that should be captured within the game. And like connecting the two there would be so lame. That'd be hella fun.
Did we answer the question about the Unity, Assassin's Creed Unity.
Yeah, David said that one.
Yeah.
This cloth sim in modern AC isn't as nearly nice as Unity. We actually had like a super high quality cloth sim in this for a while. The only problem was it tank performance. So I think we'll try and find that balance between the best quality we can get without killing performance, and it's always going to be a little bit of a cat and mouse to try and find it.
I mean, the character sucks, and I did it like, and he sucks. Like the clothing and all that is still so crappy. Like I've seen, like if you see what actually like can be done if you have someone that's actually like I'm not 3D artist, like I don't do the clothing, you know what I mean? But if you know, we just kind of did it because we're at a point where we can't pay a good person to do it. So yeah, like we're all just unpaid doing it because we were passionate about the project, right?
Yeah.
And we believe in it. So like,
at least we didn't ask Guns to do it. That would have been a
true.
challenge.
Imagine, my God, it wouldn't be playable. But like, yeah, so like take this and like level it up 10 times, like how much cleaner it's gonna look. And then the cloth sim, there's loads of options. Like we can do a baked one, so it kind of ruffles, and we change which one it does based on the speed. And there's loads of different ways we can optimize it. I think we can get it really cool in the end, to be fair.
It's just gonna be a lot of playing with it and tweaking and
yeah,
and
it's just a process, isn't it? Yeah, it's just everything. But we're in no rush, but we're not in a rush, but you know we want to do it, like
yeah.
Which is where like
laser tag, is that STORROR or horror? Laser tag STORROR as minigame. I mean, there's going to be, like I said earlier in the stream as well, any game you've seen STORROR play on YouTube, we'll probably try to implement in some form or another. So like add-on, you know, and tags and things like that. But we'll probably try and come up with a ton of our own as well, because there's so much potential for game modes.
I swear to God, like game modes must be the thing that we must be like in terms of an actual like what can you do in the game. We're probably the luckiest like ever, because like STORROR, they've just done it for us. Like we don't have to think, like what's a game mode that we could add? As well to just go on the YouTube, click their videos and shuffle, pick one, and be like escape. Oh, there you go. Well, escape. Do an escape challenge. You have to climb out of some area. Oh, escape security. Okay, cool. Like we'll do it. You have to get away from security, not just escape a location. Like you said, add-on. Okay, cool. Maze. Okay, cool. Okay, race. Okay, cool. Beat the tube. Okay, like
The
it's
farm
actually
wipeout.
Mate, there's so many, and then you think, oh, you know, we could actually create our own. It's like, we still have the other 50 ones to go through. We'll do the empires. Like, you know,
Yeah.
we're so yeah.
There's gonna be so many.
So many.
I really like to thank Jackstar for keep playing the game. Like,
Yeah, our man's putting in work right now.
it's awesome.
Truthfully, this game will become huge. Ideas like this are revolutionary, but few truly are courageous enough to undertake such a monumental task. Oh, thank you, Ghostface. Much appreciated. Looks feels better than Assassin's Creed, because in Assassins you're jumping from one to the other and always succeeding. This, you've got a feeling of accomplishment from failing. That was actually a massive conversation we had coming out of 0.1 to 0.11. Was prior to 0.1 that we had fail conditions and bail conditions everywhere. And it was super hard, especially if you go to like old 0.04a. And then in 0.1 you could never bail. And even though the game played way better, we were all really bored because you could never fail. So that was like a really intentional choice of bringing bails back in quite a big way. Because it just makes it more fun.
008, 09 that you didn't bail, right?
Oh, 09, sorry. Honestly, I lose track of versions.
Yeah,
the
there
hardest
was
part,
one that you didn't bail. Yeah.
I don't know why you do, but I always think like when making these systems, the hardest part is making like because this is the irony of it. If we made it so that you never failed, right? Like sort of Assassin's Creed 5. There's so many ways that we could do it and just make it perfect. Like we probably have a game by now in terms of like would you just never fail, and it's not user driven. And I think that's the hard part. Like the second you have it's user driven with just like you have to like it's intuitive and it makes sense why you fail, why you bail, and we're reacting to what the user wants to do as opposed to what the world says you should do. That's when the actually making the system is hard. Like, because we could write code now that's just like and make a system that's just like, oh yeah, you know, you just at this point jump to this obstacle, at this point do a climb up, at this point if you're here tag stuff up and be like, yeah, cool. But we'll make it look good in general. Like if you press this button, pick one of these X thing and pull here and extend, like kind of thing. But you want it to feel in a way like real, like you want it to feel like, oh, he tried extra hard to a point, right? We help you as much as possible, but there has to be a level in which it's deterministic, but also like reactive and like, yeah, it's not just done for you without any crazy warping and all that stuff. Because I think that's where we not innovate. Like if we're gonna innovate, it has to fundamentally work differently. Because it's at the end, it's the first game of its kind. So
it's like you were saying earlier. You want to do cool stuff, not watch cool stuff. You want to be the one.
That is it, bro. That is actually I think that's my motto going forward. It's, like, it's literally just like, because it is it like because I think people don't get, like, we can make the sickest clip and I put it on Instagram. Like, you don't actually understand. I could literally get the coolest looking clip and you think this game is better than any game ever come out. Like, I could get you doing a triple cork flip off the thing down, and I could press buttons to make it happen, right? That's no issue to get done. Like, I could get you to chain flips together and do all this stuff, no problemo. But it's like, you're not doing it. You're just like, if you press a button and he does something crazy, that is not like immersive. That is not fun. That is not anything. Like, it looks great on a clip. It looks great on an Instagram post, and it'll probably get a bunch of clicks. But like, at the end of the day, are we making something to get clicks, or are we making something for you guys to play and works well, is optimal? Like, all these, like, you know what I mean? We have an end goal here, right? And obviously sometimes, you know, we post stuff to, you know, get some clicks and yada yada. But like, actually, to be fair, 100% of the time, because we're selling it, we can't like lie to you. So everything we post is actually you can do.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the amount of times we posted a clip that took us like an hour to get because we wanted a specific animation to play. So we just played it until we get it right.
Play the game, yeah. And even then, I swear, that's the stuff I'm like, you know what I mean? But like we could make the sickest looking stuff, like when we add flips, it'll be that people will be like, oh my god, this game's amazing. I'm like, god damn it, you're just playing an animation. Like, it's not, this is the unimpressive part. Do you not see when he jumps and he goes from animation based or root motion based to physics based back to like root motion based, all in the seamless transition that you couldn't tell? Like, it's like, but that looks crap. It's like, oh, okay. Like, that's the bit that's actually the difficult part to do. Like, just doing the animation, that's no issue. But again, we're not doing it for the money, or definitely not for the money, or the, what you mean, or for the like. It's because, again, like all the things we said, we all want to create something really cool. So in there.
Also, Jackstar, you've been relieved of duty. There's a second stream, so I'm on Dumbers for a little bit. You can get a drink or get some food or
He's
like
going
some.
to bed. He's
Like,
I'm done this.
have a break for 10
I'm not
minutes. You're
sure
good.
he's gonna stop,
That's fine. I'll flip back and forth, but you've got a moment to breathe, Jackstar. Thank you. Your watch has ended. I'd love to see some dumb Tony Hawk style missions, like wild stuff for cows, fountains, explosions. Yeah, we can put some fun stuff in there. That's just like sprinkling bits on top at the end, though. That's just having fun with it. STORROR done the GeoWizard special, so you could do a runaway from the farmer DLC.
The angry farmer.
Angry farmer, yeah. Game skin pre-releases with new merch, so you get the actual shirt and game skin. But that's something we were talking about, of STORROR merch IRL being linked to STORROR merch in game, and if you got it like in real life, you get a code in the game, and as like some like tournament rewards and things like that. Yeah, vice versa. So the details of how that will work are incredibly vague, but there's like a conversation around something along that being implemented and worked together.
How sick would it be?
Oh, thank you, listening to listen.
Take care, listen.
Imagine how sick would it be? It would, like you, like in the game we have like every month or so we have a competition, or like we have a rare one once a year, and you won that whatever, like on the spot or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then so we sent you out a specific T-shirt, and then you rock up to a jam. So your character's the only one that has that. And then you sort of rock up in real life to the jam, like to a jam or something with that.
That'd be so cool.
And it was like, yo, like a specific STORROR tee that only you, no one, even the STORROR guys themselves don't have it. Like, there's one of one, and you're the only one. Everyone gets it. It's like, whoa, where'd he get that from? It's like, you got to play SPP, man. Sorry. Just,
that would be so cool.
NFTs. That
literally,
is
that is a use case.
That is like the very, very first meeting that we had with the STORROR boys. Like, the very, very first idea was to connect a real object, like a T-shirt or whatever, like merch with the game. So you have the real thing, and you also can play in the game with the real thing. That was like literally the first ever idea for the game. Like
Yeah.
even before we talk about what the game it was gonna be like. That was like the very very first thing. I think. Yeah, I don't remember who came up with that. Possibly Drew, I think.
Yeah, more merch stuff. We were talking about that. Oh yeah, we spoke about like player choice, player agency, and it's up to you whether you succeed or fail. Will we be finding any sneaking little Easter eggs? Yes, full stop. There were already some put in previous maps. There'll be more going forward. There's actually no. I kind of don't want to say it because the hotfix isn't out, so it doesn't work yet. When the hotfix comes out, there'll actually be some hidden stuff in this. There's something hidden in this map with a little reward that I've liaised with Raj on, but currently it doesn't work because I forgot to check it with all the new mechanics. So it exists, but it doesn't. You can't complete it. With the hotfix, I fixed that. But yeah, there'll be Easter eggs and stuff for sure. We need to put some Easter eggs to Dado's former games, to be honest. Get like Dado's garage or pizza place, or what was it? No, Dado's gym was it?
Dado's pizza place.
No, you had something in.
We're not part of that.
Yeah, was it Dado's gym or Dado's pizza?
Dado's gym and Dado's pizza. Yeah.
Oh, it was right. Yeah. Laughing at David. I knew I was right. I know my video game history.
Just being entirely stereotypical. Oh, he's Italian. He must have a pizza place.
I mean, someone was. I'm
who's
just
playing.
This is
Who's
Dumbus.
playing right now? They're absolutely killing it.
This is Dumbus.
Oh,
Josh's dreads at the top of Hong Kong. Yeah, there'll be like story Easter eggs and that, but there'll also just be like general video game Easter eggs and all sorts of fun stuff. Blown away by how business savvy the boys are. The STORROR boys, yeah, they're smart motherfuckers. To be fair.
Guns, language, mate.
Sorry.
We're going to demonetize this video now.
Sorry. Yeah, but it's as long as we're out the first, 14 seconds? So we're okay.
And we are already not monetizing the video anyways.
That's true.
What do you mean? I want my 14p. Like,
No. We're not running ads on the stream. There's no ads
I mean
on this.
1.4.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, we don't run ads in this channel,
We're no missing.
We don't want money. What is this?
Yeah, we don't want that £1.20 for AdSense.
Dado Polaroid selfie hidden off cam. We're gonna have a Dado character. You can just play. You can do parkour as Dado.
I have my character in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the
Why is
first.
the floor so bad?
That was the first photogrammetry session that I was testing, and I did them. It turned out to be pretty rubbish. Josh one was pretty good.
Is that why Josh was chosen to be the character? Just because it was the best model?
Yeah, it was the best one. Yeah. It was the best one in the photogrammetry session, and it was also the best one when we went from photogrammetry to metahuman. It was by far the best looking one. Like photogrammetry to metahuman, it was a bit of a disaster for the other 6. So we need to do something about it.
Yeah.
Do you see how many times you've been fired?
I've already fixed that normal issue. It just hasn't been. The hotfix hasn't come out yet. But yeah, I mean, when we do these streams, whenever we do these streams, I've got a notepad open and I'll make notes of things I see and the need fixing and that. On the back right building, something's been deleted, and I didn't realize there's just like a block missing, just part of the building, and I didn't even notice. But yeah, don't worry. When are we releasing the hotfix, by the way? When do I have to fix all of these bits and pieces?
Today or tomorrow. I mean, let's say tomorrow because today we are busy
Okay.
doing the stream. Yeah.
That's fine. I can fix all of this stuff tonight.
Unfortunately, beautiful people, I am going to depart because I want to eat some food before I do a night shift of coding.
You've been eating through the stream.
No, but I got to eat.
Do you know what? The last time I ate today was like 12 o'clock. I'm so hungry.
That's the same. I went gym and all, and I came back, and then I only had a smoothie, and then I had some lentils. Yeah, but I got to eat, man, innit?
Yeah,
So,
but
They need 6,000 calories a day to keep up.
So you can stay
You know what
wow.
I'm saying? you got to have these muscles to code. You know what I'm saying? All that finger tapping. You need energy.
You know
So-
that swimmer. What was the name of the swimmer? Michael Phelps. Like he had 12,000 calories diet to be.
Well, me and him are like we're both peak physical athletes.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the peak human form, whether you like it or not.
This is peak human form. Sat in my boxers coding at 2 a.m. in the morning with this monster. This is
like
as good
6
as it
cans
gets.
of Monster, no sleep, no
6
food.
cans-
I'm healthy.
literally like 12 cans of Monster, like a couple cups of coffee. It's like this is peak human form.
Right, and my wife just asked me to actually go and buy some food. So yeah, let's end the stream
Fair.
very early.
Very good.
Very early. You know what's very interesting? Like in the last 2 streams that we did the playtest, it was exactly 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah,
How
they were only like 20 seconds apart in length. They were
Yeah,
to
I
the same
was-
minute. It's wild.
Mm.
This isn't that far
How
behind,
long
to be
have
fair.
we been going now?
2 hours,
2
8.
hours and 8 minutes. Yeah, okay. Wow.
No, I'll let ourselves down.
We're slacking. You guys are fired. Leaving early.
Thank you very much. I mean, everyone really that.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you to everyone to come out. Come out and join us.
Well, I'm for asking all the questions. It's nice to not just
Hmm.
talk amongst ourselves because I get so tired of these guys' voices.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially
Right.
Dado's. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Like, all right then.
Is he gonna be that guy? Oh, nice. Sweet guys. Peace.
Right.
I'll catch you later, guys.
Peace,
Thank you
peace,
very
peace.
much.
If you're not in the Discord, actually, I should drop a link in the chat
Yeah.
to invite you guys to the Discord. So I'll do that in a sec. So if you're not in the Discord, come join it. If you're not a backer, what are you doing in your life? Come get the game. Come join us.
Do it with your life. If
Right.
you're not a backer, your PC or whatever you're watching this on is gonna explode in the next 30 seconds, unless you buy the game. So
It's facts.
you've got
It's just
30
facts.
seconds really. So
Buy the
£20
game.
game, 2 game PC. You just have to pick your poison really.
Right. Thank you for coming out. Peace.